Hello, everybody. St. Veronica, this weekend in the church around the world, we will be hearing about what it means to die to self and come back to life anew. We will be hearing about what it means that for the Christian, death in this life is not death forever. And so at the 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 11:30 Mass, we will be hearing the gospel of Jesus telling his disciples that unless a grain of wheat falls to the earth and dies, it remains just a grain of wheat. At the 9:30 Mass this weekend, we will be having a scrutiny for our 2 elect who will be baptized and fully initiated at the Easter Vigil. At that Mass, we go to the Gospel of John and the readings that accompany that Gospel, the raising of Lazarus, dead for 3 days, 4 days. They are encouraged to go to the tomb where Jesus raises Lazarus. You can see where these readings are going and what they remind us of as we come toward the end of our Lenten season. This life does not offer us eternity, but it does offer us many opportunities to die, to have dreams that are dashed, expectations unfulfilled, and hopes never seen. And yet, we find that when we die to self, those experiences of loss and death become new life, imaging for us what eternity is going to be like. We make lots of plans in our life, and maybe you've noticed that sometimes when those plans don't work out, what we actually got instead was a whole lot better. Not something we would have chosen, but the design of God opening itself to us in life. And so on this final weekend of our numbered Sundays of Lent, we take the opportunity to look at what has held us back, what has caused us death in our own life, and challenged ourselves through the eyes of faith to see that it's these very situations in life that become our opportunities to be the person that God wants us to be. I want to say a little something about the Triduum, the 3 days coming up in a couple of weeks. Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and then Easter. We are hoping that all of our parishioners will use this as an opportunity to at least consider coming back to church. There is still not an obligation to do so. But as we notice the world around us and things coming back to life, coming back to some semblance of normalcy, maybe this is the opportunity for St. Veronica parishioners to come back to church, at least for one of our 3 days. We are going to use a ticket system again, as we did at Christmas, for Holy Thursday and all 4 of our liturgies for Easter. I really hope you will not view this as a way of saying, we don't really want you here, nor do we want it to be inconvenient. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to be with us and to worship. It's just that until we get this whole pandemic behind us, we still need to be safe. And so I ask you to please go online to sign up for which masses you will be attending, celebrating together, and you can also call the parish office if the computer's a little too daunting for you. We understand that. Holy Thursday will be at 7 p.m. Again, we ask you to sign up. Because of the pandemic, it is a very simple liturgy. There will be no washing of feet, and just a brief procession as we repose the Blessed Sacrament at the end of Mass. Good Friday. That will be also very simple. We have Stations of the Cross at 12 noon and the Liturgy of the Passion at 1 p.m. The veneration of the cross is not done individually this year. The priest will venerate the cross, and then everybody will do the same from their pews. the rest of the liturgy on that day is the same. I'm going to ask you to consider, so that we can get more people into our celebrations on Easter weekend, to consider coming to the Easter Vigil at 8:30 p.m. the night before Easter. I know it's later. I know it has the reputation for being long, because typically it is. But again, it's going to be shorter this year. Not as short as a typical Mass, but there's no gathering around the fire. There are no extending light to individual candles. There's not coming to the font. We have 2 baptisms, but it's just going to be much shorter than usual. So I would encourage you to consider that. Easter Sunday morning, we have 7:30 a.m. Mass, which is a half hour earlier than usual, because we anticipate the parking lot issues, and then 9:30 and 11:30. So Easter Sunday, 7:30, 9:30, 11:30. Mass will be streamed in the gym. We have increased the number of people for all of our liturgies that can come into both the church and the gym, but we're still going to be careful. So please consider all of that as we look forward to the Triduum. That's essentially the first weekend of April, but I'd really appreciate you thinking about that right now. So this weekend, we consider the Paschal mystery, the life, death, and resurrection of Christ, and how we die and rise every day in our life. And this kind of death is not for naught. It's a redemptive kind of death. Our suffering is redemptive in this life, so that we can more fully join with Christ and understand his great love for us as he gave his life for all. I'll be in touch with you again next week. In the meantime, may God bless you, and let's make it a great week. Thanks, everybody.